Welcome back, fellow hunters. Sky Sensei here, coming to you with another weapon breakdown, this time of the Sword and Shield trailer. Honestly, I'm so hyped for this weapon, and it looks great since there's a lot of new features being added. It was definitely an underrated weapon that packed a punch in World, so hopefully we see it get the spotlight it deserves. Before we dive in, I just want to remind you all that I will be doing full weapon tutorials for all the weapons in Rise when the game launches, so be sure to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Jumping on in, we are not saving the best for last, we're starting with the best for first. Perfect Rush is coming back and I'm absolutely stoked for this. It looks really polished. You can see here, I think it has a wider hitbox for the Perfect Rush. One of the most annoying things in World was when a monster was knocked and sometimes you would mistime your Perfect Rush because their head was bobbing back and forth. In this trailer here, it seems like the hunter can actually hit all three hits even while being sort of a step back, so it definitely seems like it has a more polished hitbox. Also, the new Perfect Rush is also linked to a counter move. This is insane in my opinion. The counter comes from a block from the shield and then goes straight into Perfect Rush. You can see here that the hunter takes very little knockback, which honestly we're not sure if this is a feature in Rise going forward or if this hunter in the example just has high guard jewels. But nonetheless, seeing less knockback on a sword and shield is really going to help the shield aspect of this weapon. For those of you out there, in World, Sword and Shield, the shield part was practically useless because even if you had high guard, there was such a big knockback effect and it was really just never worth it to block. You would rather just roll, dodge, and get back into the action. But if we can see here that the Perfect Rush now has a counter linked to the shield, I think this may be a game changer for the Sword and Shield gameplay. Another thing to note from this trailer here is that Perfect Rush as well has different endings from what we can see. In World, you would latch onto the enemy and deal a huge amount of damage, but then you'd be thrown off far from the monster and you would need time to recover. In Rise, it seems we have some options. One being a quick sword finish that does a sort of like twirl slash thing at the end, or the other is that we can do a Helm breaker aerial finisher. Now this is a returning move from World, which I really loved, but it was a very big pain to execute in World. So it's really great to see it here being integrated into a combo, and the best combo at that, the Perfect Rush. So that's about it for the Perfect Rush, honestly, from what we've gotten from this trailer. It's great to see some changes in terms of gameplay, though I'm sure we will be seeing some damage reduction just to balance it out because it seems like they're increasing the accessibility of the Perfect Rush. Moving on here, the aerial shield bash now, which was also a very strong move in World to inflict KO damage, has now become a silk bind attack, which then uses one of your silk bug charges. I think this is actually a great change as number one, it utilizes the aerial combat system that Rise seems to be pushing for us, and two, it'll change the way hunters focus on the monsters. It'll make them use the aerial system to catch up to them, possibly knock them, and then you can focus on getting some big DPS with your ground attack. Finally, maybe this is the best for last, but we get to see the new Sword and Shield move, the Windmill Silk Bind attack. Honestly, there's no words for how cool this move looks. I don't think we've gotten any look at the damage numbers for this move as of yet, but being a multi-hit attack is just really cool to see something on the Sword and Shield with. Additionally, we can see that the final move does seem to have some sort of KO or heavy hitting status, as it does knock over the Kulayaku in one scene, and then in the next scene, the final attack does stagger the monsters. So I think that's a good balancing act. I think using a Silk Bite to do some extra KO damage will be very helpful. The other moves of Sword and Shield are not really shown here, though we do see a glimpse of the step back power move that was present in Monster Hunter World. So I think we can assume, like most weapons, that the basic moveset of Sword and Shield will not be changing. And that about sums it up for what we know about the Sword and Shield from this trailer, guys. Pretty excited for it. I'm glad we got to see a nice new look at the Perfect Rush. I can't wait to try it out. Just a reminder, the demo does drop sometime in January, so be sure to check that out. And the full game is on March 26th. So we'll see you there. Keep hunting, my friends.